Let's play some hockey. Stars Blues Game 3, series tied at 1. Well, Blues wins have been nail-biting finishes.
History, Jeff. Okay, your game will be the opening game of the Nat Stadium.
Clearly, the Wizard. Hey, everybody! Yes, welcome to the hustle. We got so much to do today. I have such a fun-filled show. So, I'm like, okay, we can't waste too much time dealing with, that whole open stuff of all my work. Normally, I'll be like, okay, we'll let it run a little bit, but not today, because we got so much going on. And I'm looking at this thing in my hair. I tried to do something a little fun with my hair today, and I don't know if it's working right. But anyway, girlfriend may have to fix it a little bit because I didn't see how it looked on camera. But anyway, all right. So listen up. This is what's going on. Obviously, we know that the playoffs are here, alive, and exciting. What can I say? This is probably the most exciting playoffs that I have ever seen in a long time. First of all, I've never seen the first round where the number 1 seed Golden State had a team that came back from like 30 points, which is what the Clippers did, that Houston could never do. But anyway, Houston did come back, though. I think in the 5th game, I think they came back from like 20 points. And I was like really, really pissed off that they did not take that game because they had every opportunity when Kevin Durant went out. But anyway, that's another story. So if I could just quickly talk about just a few things. Kawhi, okay? I just got to give Kawhi his props because he had the game-winning shot. No player in the 7th game of a playoff series has had a buzzer beater winning point like that. Okay, if I'm reading the stat right. So no other player. That's pretty big. Now, the only other person to score more points in a playoff series, 7 games, was MJ. Okay, he had more points than Kawhi and then a few more players. So, hey, that's pretty big. But MJ had like 246 points. He leads the way in a full playoff series. So that's pretty big. And also, just to talk about it, Kawhi Leonard had 41 points. The rest of his team had like 51. So he scored like 44% of his entire team's points. And it took him 39 shot attempts to get there. So, that's just such an exciting game. To me, it was anyone's game. It was between the 76ers and the Raptors. Obviously, the Raptors took it in a buzzer beater by Kawhi Leonard. So, it was pretty exciting. Serge had 17. Kyle Lowry had 10. Pascal Siakam had 11. So, just incredible. And by the way, Van Vliet, I don't know what happened to Van Vliet. I don't know what happened to Marc Gasol. I don't know what happened to Danny Green, but combined, they only had 13 points together. Hello. Oh, have you ever heard of that? Danny Green can shoot some threes, and Marc Gasol, I don't know. But anyway, listen, I've got a great show about boxing, and I really want to get to it. So I'm going to continue talking, obviously, about the playoffs. We will get into the playoffs more next year. I just wanted to kind of get into some stats, a little bit about it, but it's the Magnificent May, as my friend calls this, Gary Williams Digital. Yes, he called it Magnificent May. I saw that on his website. So I had to give him a shout out. Anyway, he's on the show today along with Diamonds in the Rough, which is one of our featured gyms. That has some incredible boxers coming out of that gym. And they do so much in the community. They do a lot of stuff with kids, and they groom a lot of boxers in our community. So we got together and decided to feature Diamonds in the Rough boxing gym right here today. So I'm really excited to get to them. I just want to get to 2 things. One is just a rest in peace to Tim Conway. He's just somebody that I kind of grew up on, just kind of old familiar for me. Hey, probably showing my age, but anyway, Carol Burnett show, I love that show. So Tim Conway was hilarious. He died today. Sadly, I think he was about 89, 85, right, Gary? 85? 89, 85. And then also, there was one other passing today, and I want to just talk about him because he's kind of relevant to boxing, and that's Harold Letterman. A lot of people don't know who he is. You're probably like, well, who is Harold Letterman? I never saw him. Well, if you watch boxing, and even up to boxing, like just not that long ago, then you would have heard Harold Letterman's voice. He is the voice, the analyst who says, I think Pacquiao got it in five rounds. And right now, what's going on is that, we're looking, and Mayweather got him in round 1 and round 2. And then I would say 3 rounds went to Pacquiao. That's basically Harold Letterman. He was the guy behind the scenes. You never really got to see him, but he basically gave you an outline as to where he felt the judges were casting their votes, and gave you an idea as to what the rules were. And he just was so informative, and I thought that was such a unique experience, and I liked that. He was almost like probably comparative to, a sideline reporter for NBA or something like that, or a sideline reporter for football. You just never got to see him, but he really gave you an in-depth perspective on where the judges were voting and who he felt was winning round by round. So he also died as well. So unfortunately, we won't be hearing that anymore. I don't know, maybe they're going to replace him with somebody else, because I think that that's such a unique job to have, especially in boxing. And a lot of people don't know this. He was a pharmacist in his other life. So, a lot of us have like other jobs, and we do this too because, hey, you got to have another job. You got to have another hustle on the hustle, right? That's why this show is called The Hustle, because we all got plenty of hustles. So the other thing is, before I get to everything, I just want to say I've gotten some nice gifts today. Look at this. Diamonds in the Rough gave me this. I just have such a great day, and also a very sweet person, somebody you will see soon, gave me some Happy Mother's Day flowers today. So, and they smell incredible. So today is full of gifts for me today. I'm so happy, and this is Diamonds in the Rough. I'm going to have a poster board in the back, and I'm going to have all of my featured pictures and all kinds of stuff. I'm really going to make this very Alina 7-ish very soon. But anyway, nonetheless, the other thing is that I just wanted to remind everybody about is that boxing is special to me. Not sports is special, but boxing is really special because I come from a boxer who had over 60 fights. My grandfather's name was Jimmy Mendes. He was a beast. Okay, he came 20 years before Muhammad Ali. He was heavyweight champion of New England. And my grandfather came over here very young, maybe 8, 9 years old, on a boat from the Cape Verde Islands without his family. And he lived in people's basements and ate out of trash and trash cans. And no one really raised him. He raised himself from a kid. And he learned how to take care of himself by boxing on the street. And as a result of that, no one knew that my grandfather was going to be so massively big for the 30s. My grandfather ended up being like 6'2". They had him at 6'1" online, but he was taller than that. Really was like 6'2", 6'3", really tall, 250 pounds. Can you imagine that back in the 30s? And he was a beast. Joe Louis would not fight my grandfather. He used to have to go find fights in Europe. So you'll see, if you look up my grandfather's record, that he would have to, he fought a lot in Europe. And word was it that he dated when he was in France. My grandmother said this, but anyway, Josephine Baker, he was there. But my grandfather was such a good-looking guy on top of that. So I'll show some pictures if I can get it on my phone towards the end of the show if we have some time. I will show him. His name is Jimmy Mendes. So I am extremely partial to boxers. I love the boxing, and plus it brings back memories of just hanging out with my mom and my dad watching Muhammad Ali. And my mother was the loudest person in the room, screaming And my mother was an athlete as well as my father. So I come from a very athletic family, and we love sports, and all of the kids in my family are athletes. So anyway, enough about me. I want to get to my guests. I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to bring my wonderful guest on, Coach from Diamonds in the Rough, and our resident boxing guru, Gary Digital Williams. We're going to come back with them, bring them on, and we're going to have so much fun talking about boxing and all the stuff that's going on, because we are really bringing boxing back to the DMV. I'm committed to doing that. So trying to get more boxers and trying to do what I can. So we'll be back with the Hustle. Alina
Are not the same team that they were in the beginning of this season. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You could see the defending champions here tonight playing a back and forth game all night long. And they say that basically he influenced, Muhammad Ali. And he said, listen, what you...
A second, but I just wish that you could elaborate a little bit more about what it felt like to go through that elimination game. And given that opportunity this year, how would you guys do it differently? And if you both could answer the question, I'd appreciate it.
Well, differently is coming into this season without having knee surgeries and everybody being healthy. That's the key for our team. Hurt.
He left 93 seconds into the first quarter. He collided with a teammate and hurt his left knee. Don't know what's going to happen for the future with the playoffs, but anyway, Kevin Durant never returned back to the game. Hey everybody, I'm Alina Neves, courtside at Capital One Arena, where the Washington Wizards, who are 9-5, take...
Yes. All right. Welcome back to the Hustle. Excuse me. I just lost my voice for a second. Welcome back to the Hustle. Alina 7 right here at WLVS Radio. I'm excited to bring on, obviously, my friend, Gary. Gosh. I'm okay. I just got to get my voice back, Gary. I know. Okay. Can you imagine me losing my voice? But anyway, and Coach Carter right here, right? Coach Carter. Yes, from Diamonds in the Rough. He's got a great boxing gym here in the DMV. We'll talk all about his gym and some of the boxers he's got coming out of his gym. Who should we be looking out for and all of that stuff? So, Gary, so talk about Diamonds in the Rough as a gym and as a featured boxing venue.
They're one of our great gyms we have in the Beltway, no question about that. And they do some wonderful things outside of the belt, outside of boxing, I should say. They deal with academics. They're trying to get kids off the streets and try to get them into the community, not just in the boxing community, but in life, because they want to make sure that they're on the up and up as well. And they do a wonderful job over there.
Really. And so just talk, not that we don't see you, because we're gonna talk to you, Coach, in a second. But let me just ask our resident boxing guru. So Gary, what would you say? Like, what kind of talent is coming out of Diamonds?
Well, I like the kid they had named. One of the kids I like is a kid named Deontay Washington. I had a chance to see him at the Belfast Beltway Classic. He didn't win, but he did put on a very good show, and he's been someone I've been following for the last couple of years. So he's a good one.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Coach, tell us, what made you create this Diamonds in the Rough anyway? We know that boxing can be rough. We do definitely know that. But, you okay?
I'm good now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just talk to us about your vision for this gym and all the, why is your commitment there for boxing?
Well, the commitment came from, honestly, my lifestyle in D.C.
Okay.
The things I went through and mentors I had in my life. Right now, we don't have the boys clubs, the different outlet the kids can go to.
Yes.
So that what made me have a passion to trying to find an outlet, a safe haven for them.
Okay.
And the way Diamonds in the Rough was created is a partner. My partner is Tayron McBride. Okay, that's my partner.
Okay.
And the vision came from God for both of us to merge.
Okay.
So it's Diamonds in the Rough, Sweet Science of Boxing. That's two companies merged to one.
Oh, okay. So who is the Sweet Science of?
I'm Sweet Science Boxing.
You're Sweet. Okay.
But actually, now we all is the same.
It's the same now
Right.
because you guys have fought. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And basically, it's a vision. I know it came from God because when this came upon, as far as me doing Sweet Science of Boxing, I was going to Florida to do food. I'm a chef. And then all of a sudden, God gave me a vision. I came out of Sweet Science Boxing. I had a gym up in Florida called the Contender.
Okay.
You know, so then, you know, me and Tehran, we always, when I came back to D.C., because, you know, I was helping a lot of kids in Florida, the pork and bean and all that. You heard of pork and bean?
No, I've not heard of that.
The first 20, only thing I do look at the first 24. And it talks about the pork and bean.
The pork and bean.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
The murder rate is real high.
Right.
Oh.
So that's where I was at.
Okay.
To get them kids.
Okay.
Then I
So
realized,
you were trying to work with. Okay.
but I had to come home.
I understand.
I had to come home and get the kids in my backyard.
Right.
So me and Tavon, we got together. We were going to different events. We didn't even know we was going to merge. This came strictly from God, because God gave us the same vision.
Okay.
So that's how it came from Diamonds of Rust.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, you know, where you guys are as a gym and what kind of talent you have that you're working on. and
We have
developing.
one
First of all,
thing
you
I want
guys
to
are
say.
located where though?
8207 Crandon Way, District Heights, Maryland.
In District Heights. Okay. Okay. So you're definitely taking it to the community
Right,
there. You
right.
are right there, actively
right there.
involved. People can
Yes.
come there. They
Yes.
can learn more about the boxing
Yes.
business. They can come talk to you.
Yes.
You welcome kids, right?
That's our whole objective, to
Okay.
get these kids.
Okay.
To get them ready. Even, you know, we always talk about the at-risk kids, but we talk about kids in general. Because as kids, we got to get them prepared for when they get older so they can be productive in this world.
Right.
So all kids need our help.
Okay.
Not just at risk. I don't want to just target just at risk. We need all the kids because
Yeah.
all of them is special to us.
Right.
They're our future.
Right.
So
right.
we got to, we just not limited.
Okay.
You know,
So he mentioned, what was the name, Gary?
Deontay Washington.
Yes.
Deontay Washington.
Very
So
special
tell-
kid.
Okay, so tell me about him. Is he a featured boxer?
Yes, he is.
With diamonds in the rough? Okay.
Yes, he been in the program ever since he was a kid.
Oh, how old?
Yes.
Really?
Deontay, he started when he was very young.
Very young.
Very young. And first, before I get to that point, I just want, because I know my coaches and stuff looking, I just want to say that we have the best staff
Really? Okay.
in the boxing game. I want to give a shout out to Coach Tony.
Okay.
He took them kids all the way.
Wow.
wonderful coach.
Coach Tony. Okay, and Coach Tony does.
He's our head coach.
He's your head coach there.
Yeah,
Okay. He works directly with the
directly
kids
when getting them
when
ready.
they come right in from scratch.
Right.
Okay.
Him, Coach Wayne, you know, strength and conditioning coach.
Okay.
He deal with the kids. We have Coach Umar. We have Coach Mark. Coach Mark was going to come today. He's one of the other kids that is a product of our program. He started when he was a baby. Now he's a coach. He matchmakes the fights for us. So he's this program is one of a kind.
Wow.
One of a kind.
Okay, so Gary, what do you think makes this program so special?
Well, I think Coach Carter said it all. Really, I mean, what they're doing. I mean, it's very it's similar to to a program in Baltimore called Umar Boxing Gym with Marvin McDowell.
Okay.
But again, I think what makes them special, they're right there in the mix. They're right there in the community. And Coach Carl and those guys, they do a wonderful job.
Because I could remember us talking, right? And I said, you know, Gary, I really want to have like a featured gym.
Yeah.
I want to really begin to connect with the whole boxing world. You know what I mean? I really, really do because, you know, like I said, you know, it's real special to me, the boxing world, especially because I have a grandfather who came
Right.
up on the streets like that. And he survived and ended up becoming heavyweight champion of New England.
Right.
My grandfather was like, you know, and he had to break down a lot of barriers. And my mom said everybody was scared of my
You know,
grandfather.
and of course, folks at Diamonds in the Rough have to break down some barriers as well because they have
Yes.
to deal with the county,
Yep.
one, and also the the recreation department.
That's
here.
right.
Wow.
So they have battles they have to face.
Wow.
And they do that very well.
And we
What
still
kind of
face-
battles do you face?
Well, right now we talking about funding.
Okay.
We funding for the gym because we want to keep these doors open. At this point now, me and Coach Tay is the only one funding this program out of our pocket.
Out of your pocket.
Yeah, that's why Coach Tay not here now. He's working and I took off.
Oh, you took off to
Yeah,
come here.
and
Oh,
that-
wow,
yeah.
that's a serious
Yeah,
commitment.
so
Yeah.
it's coming out of our pockets. You know, we trying to create different avenues of funding to come in. Like I said, June the 1st, we're gonna throw. No one ever did it before. We're doing a benefit cabaret. You know, we're gonna show them what we're doing. The donation box. Everybody come out and have fun. You know, and the same token of having fun. You know, we're exchanging lives.
Yes.
Because when they come out, we're gonna save these kids' lives.
Yes, you
You
are.
know,
You are.
we got parents with testimonial of how we help kids and everything. So we just need everybody to understand, come out here, give us a chance, come to the gym, visit us, see what we're doing.
So when is the cabaret and
That's June the 1st.
that's coming? Okay,
That's
that's
coming up.
coming up.
Saturday,
Okay.
June 1st.
And
June
so
1st.
people can buy tickets, or if
Yes.
they want to.
They can buy
How?
tickets. Well, they can come to the gym. They can reach us. My phone number 240-534-8662. We have tickets right now. This is what we have to do.
What do the
Gym-
tickets cost?
$20.
$20. Okay. And basically, that $20 converts into a whole
Yes,
chain,
everything.
a whole
Because like I was telling you earlier, we had a discussion. You know, the kids go to Ireland every year, and it costs like $1,800 for just one child.
Yes.
So we trying to raise money to help out best way we can to get them kids over there.
Over
and we
there.
need everybody help.
Yes.
It's
yes.
an old saying, it take a village to raise one child. That's a true statement.
Let me tell you, I mean, it does.
Yeah,
It really,
really
really
does.
does. It does. And these coaches out here, I take my hat off to coaches in any sport, because I even see it even, say, with my kids' tennis coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I never really, to be honest, I couldn't afford to spend the kind of money that it took to bring my kids along in tennis where they are without the scholarships and without the
Right.
commitment that came from their coaches. And now, you know, let me tell you something, those donations that came along the way helping my kids through, because that tennis is expensive. You got to pay for the trip, you got to pay for a lot of stuff. But I'm just saying that all that uncompensated time converted into 2 major scholarships for my son and my daughter. And now my daughter, you know, my son gets newcomer player of the year from Morehouse, and then my daughter plays at NC State, and she is competing for the U.S. Open wild card. So I'm just saying that converted
Right.
into a very high quality college education, which could easily convert to a pro career
Yes, easily.
for your kids as well.
Right, because Deontay, full scholarship to college. You know, because he's a good kid. You know, well-mannered. His parents done a great job with him. And like you're saying, you know, putting that sacrifice into it.
Yes.
And we can put a sacrifice as a group and take these children out here and sacrifice ourselves to them. People done it for us, if you believe it or not.
Yeah, and you guys are sacrificing so much for these kids as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the commitment and the passion that drives you guys is just incredible.
Yeah, and we also have coming up this summer. We have the summer camp.
Okay.
And we're gonna be teaching the STEM class, you know, graphic arts, and showing them how to be entrepreneurs in this community. So this is all taking place at this gym.
At this gym
Yeah.
this summer. Wow. So if people are interested in that part of your program, what should they do? Like, where should they go?
They come
What's
to-
your website, by the way?
At this moment, we're working on our website because we have to
Okay.
change.
You have to change it. Okay.
Yeah, but they can reach us. The address, once again, is 8207 Crandon Way, District Heights, Maryland, 20747. You can reach me, call me at 240-534-8662. And we'd be glad to open the doors up to anyone.
Okay. Okay. So that definitely summer camp. So I wanted to get all of that out, like the events that are coming up, and then I want to get, you know, obviously into the boxing and some of the events that, you know, some of the real significant boxing events. Okay, so Gary, so tell me, let's get into the boxing.
Before we do that, we're talking about coaches, and recently the Washington D.C. community lost a very fine coach, football and girls basketball coach at Wilson Senior High School. His name was Horace Fleming, and Horace Fleming passed away this week. I had a chance to know him. I used to cover D.C. High school basketball and high school football. He was a tremendous coach, a great leader, and I saw him last time I saw him was actually at a funeral of another friend of ours who was the longtime announcer here in the area, announcer right up the street here at Howard University, Shelley Bowers Jr. But Horace Fleming passed away, and I want to give tribute to him. He was a great guy, no question about that.
Okay.
Now, as far as the boxing is concerned, we have a lot going on. As you said, Atlanta, we call it Magnificent May along the Beltway, and we had last Saturday.
Now, if you want to know about boxing, you can go to Gary's website as well, because Gary's website gets really into it. Give them your website.
BoxingAlongTheBeltway.blogspot.com, and we also have a podcast that you can hear on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com. You can hear on Facebook, Twitter, TuneIn, as well as on iHeartRadio.com. Okay. So you can definitely listen to it as well. We just did a podcast today, as a matter of fact. Okay. And last Saturday, of course, we had the big bout at Eagle Bank Arena, Jared Hurd versus Julian Williams, and it was a great card. I mean, the card was fantastic. The bout was fantastic. The main event was unbelievable. Already they're saying it's one of the best bouts of the year. Really? It was that good? It was that good. And I give all the credit to Julian Williams. Julian Williams won a 12-round unanimous decision over Jared Hurd to win the IBF, WBA, and IBO junior middleweight titles. And I give him all the credit because he had an outstanding bout. He had a great game plan coming in. Jared Hurd, I think if he did make one error on one slight mishap, is the fact that he did not have a plan B. He did not have a plan B. Now, all the time, because he's 23-0 going in, 16 KOs. And every bout he's in, especially
he was 20 what?
He's 23-0, 16 KOs going into the bout on Saturday. And every bout he's in, he's fought basically the same way. Yeah. Okay. With very, very little deviation. He's been able to walk people down. And because he's big for a super welterweight, he able to walk him down and basically take him out in the later rounds. Okay. He did that pretty much in every bout he's had, from Frank Galarza through Jojo Dan, through the title win against Tony Harrison, the great bout against Arislani Lar, the bout against Jason Wellborn. He couldn't do that against Julian Williams. Williams was there. Williams was there for the entire 12 rounds. Julian
was there going toe-to-toe.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
So he didn't come with a plan on how to...
He was a typical Philadelphia fighter. No question about it. And I think because of that, they did not have a plan B. They did not adjust. I won't say they could not adjust. They did not adjust. Okay. And that cost them, I think, down the stretch. I think the other thing that cost them in hindsight, and I may get some flack behind this, but I think Jared, as great as he did, a wonderful job of promoting the show. He was out there in the community. He was out there, but I think he may have been out there too much. He was there with the Washington football team. He was there with DC United. He was opening up.
Promoting, though, but that's what you got to do.
And you have to do that, but you have to kind of even it out with the training you have to do to defend your title. And he didn't, and I don't know if he did that enough this time around. I think that's something they'll learn from in that situation. I mean, he said he was fine. I give him all the credit in the world, and Jared Williams is a fantastic person, no question about that. As is Julian Williams, for that matter, he's a great guy. Okay. But I just think
before you move on, Gary, though, I just want to get Coach's perspective on that. How do you manage that with your boxers, handling the promotional aspects of the boxing matches and the training?
Actually, I come up in the business world in corporate America. You have to build a team. Okay. So he got enough money to build a team to handle all that, to keep him focused. I know as far as promoting, you get your team and promote for you. Okay.
You're saying that he should not have been there?
Well, I'm not going to say not necessarily, because sometimes, it all depends how a person feels.
You need the boxer there,
right? Because you need
the media to get in. Right. So I get that. I have no problem with that.
But I understand what he was saying. He was saying a little bit too much. He can do that, but also have your team.
Okay.
So you got to have a proper team around you to say, all right, enough's enough. We got to move to the next phase.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. See, you're only as good as your team. Only reason I'm shining right there because the team I have at Diamonds in the Rough, Coach Tony, he did what he had to do. Coach Tay, Coach Wayne, everybody, it's a team.
Right.
And once you got, as the old saying, the team make the dream work.
Yes.
Right.
That's how it
Dreamwork
goes.
comes from teamwork, right?
But he's a good kid. He's gonna bounce back, and I
No
know
question.
once that rematch, he's gonna beat the brakes off him because he's smart.
Yeah.
And he's very humble.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
how I love
So
about
you're
love him.
familiar with that boxer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Jared Hurd's very
go
popular in
ahead.
the area.
Yeah.
No question about that. So
Very
it was a great night all the way around. I mean, a lot of locals won on the card. Devontae Speed Rawls took a win. Alexandru Spartan Marine, a kid I really like out of Bethesda, Maryland, by way of Romania. He won a tough 10-round unanimous decision. Had a tough bout in the first bout between Mark Duncan and Kevin Scarecrow Womack Jr. Womack knocked out Duncan in the second round.
Knockout in the
and
second round.
It was pretty devastating too. And Duncan had to be taken to the hospital. So hope he's okay.
Oh my God.
And also,
I hate to hear about that
yeah.
part of it.
Also, Greg Sharpshooter Outlaw. Got to talk about him. Greg Outlaw, outstanding boxer, King Promotion signee. He scored a knockout in the fourth round. So it was a great night all the way around for Beltway boxing. Also, we had a tough night with Damon Nicholson. Damon Nicholson made weight the night before the bout, but he had cramps afterwards. And because he had cramps, he ended up having to take himself off the bout. Everybody I've talked to said he's okay, but
he's okay.
We'll see what happens.
You know,
that's kind of tough.
His muscles were losing some nutrients.
Right.
Somebody wasn't eating right. Somebody wasn't doing some right training.
So now the Magnificent Man moves along. We go to Saturday, May 18th at the Entertainment Sports Arena in Washington, D.C.
That's coming
in
up.
Southeast.
That's this Saturday.
It's coming Saturday, no question about that. And a couple of big bouts as part of that's concerned. The Dark Menace, Tierra Brown, the Washington, D.C. Police Officer of the Year. She's in the bout. Female police officer. She takes on Angel Nonstop Gladney in a 10-round bout for the vacant IBF Intercontinental title, super featherweight title.
Who do you think got that?
Oh, Brown.
Tierra Brown.
Gladney's tough. I mean, I've seen Gladney a couple times.
Right.
She actually faced one boxer we have in the area, Jennifer Salinas, 3 times, and fought in 2 of those bouts here in the area. So, but Tierra Brown is outstanding boxer, outstanding person, no question about that. She's 7-0.
Where does she get her training from?
Well, she trains at old school boxing now in Rosecroft Raceway in Fort Washington, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
She's originally from Fort Myers, Florida, and she fought amateur down there. And then he made it to the she went to Olympic trials a couple of times. She won a world championship in the amateurs. But this will be her first try for a regional title coming up on Saturday.
Hold on, Gary, before you move on. What do you think about girls in boxing?
Well, I have a daughter to box.
Oh.
They call it the slashing.
What?
I hope she's listening so she can come back to the
Candace
gym.
Carter's your daughter?
No, Kishana.
Kishana Carter, okay.
Yeah.
I know she-
Okay,
I
really?
hope she come back to the gym.
How long has she been boxing?
Well, she's been boxing over a year or 2, but when she was young, I always used to work with her.
You used to work with her.
I remember the days we was on the grass and she was just throwing punches.
She would just, and did she have a knack for it, you think? I mean,
Yeah,
what was
she
it?
got a knack for it. She
did?
does. She does. She does. I hope she come back. I hope she looking at the interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want her to come back now?
Yeah, she needs to come back.
She's training? Is she training?
Well,
or?
she stopped training for a while.
Okay.
She just stopped, But we do have another young lady named Ray. We got to watch out for her. She's up and coming. She's going to be sharp. So we do have female boxers.
What's her name?
Ray. We call her Ray.
Yeah. You call her Ray?
Yeah, Ray.
Okay.
Hollywood Ray.
How old is she?
How old?
How old is Ray?
Ray's 24, I'm not mistaken.
Okay, she's 24, and she
Yeah.
trains at Diamonds in the Rough?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. And what does she have upcoming? Anything?
Well, she haven't had any bouts yet. She's just training, but we getting her ready for some bouts.
You get ready for,
Yeah.
okay. We're going to talk about what the process is like. How do you take a kid from start to
The first.
So we'll get into
Okay.
that in a minute. Let me go back to Gary.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gary.
Also, in that card on Saturday, May 18th, Lantes Fox, Sliza Fox, he takes on Nick the Machine Gun
That's
Brinson.
the 18th. That's this coming
That's coming
Saturday.
right.
Okay.
Fox is 24-1-1 with 11 KOs, and he last fought on September 22nd against Elvin Ayala, won an 8-round unanimous decision. He's going to try to make it straight for the family, because his younger brother, Michael the Professor Fox, pulled off a big win last Saturday against Fazlidian Gabnazarov on May 11th in Tucson, Arizona. This is a big win for Michael. Gabnazarov, I'm sorry, is a 2016 Olympian. Won a gold medal in the Olympics. In fact, one of the people he beat on the way to the gold medal was our very own Antoine Russell.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was interesting there. But Michael had put off a big win. Of course, the Fox brothers, they're so tall. Both of them are tall. Michael's 6'4", Alonso is 6'5". And in this particular case for Michael, he had a 9-inch height advantage over Gabnazarov. And Gabnazarov could never get inside. And he ended up actually getting 2 points taken away and ended up losing the bout to Michael Fox. So Michael is only has one loss in his career. Patrick Harris is on the card out of Hyattsville, Maryland. He's 15-0, 8 KOs. The Vanilla Gorilla, Sam Crosset out of Greenbelt, Maryland is on the card. He take on Frederick, Maryland's Larry Hitman Pryor. And Jordan Short Dog White's on this card out of D.C. George Harris out of Silver Spring. Should be a great bout. Great card coming up on Saturday, May 18th. Also on the 18th, out of Brooklyn, New York, the WBC featherweight champion Gary Russell Jr. defends his title against Kiko Martinez, and his younger brothers Antonio and Antoine are both on that card as well.
Are both on that card? Oh, really, brothers?
This is the co-feature to Deontay Wilder and Dominic Breazeale. It'll be on Showtime.
Oh, okay, that'll be on Showtime.
But yeah, the Russell brothers are outstanding. All four of them, Antoine, Antonio, Allen, and Gary, all have won National Golden Glove championships. They're the only family to do that.
Wow,
Gary,
that is impressive.
Right.
I mean, what
now they're all first names are Gary, but only Gary Jr. Uses the first name. Everybody uses the middle names.
Everyone, okay.
Yeah. So, but Gary Jr. and Antoine were Olympians. And Gary was Olympian in 2008, but he couldn't compete in that one because he had issues with weight prior to that. But and Antoine Russell got to the quarterfinals in the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro in 2016. So they do an outstanding job. Allen no longer boxes. He's like helps his father out with training. The guys. But Gary, Antonio, and Antoine do an outstanding job.
Where are they out of?
Capitol Heights, Maryland.
Oh, they're out of Capitol Heights.
Capitol Heights, Maryland, yes.
Okay. Wow. And all four of them. What do we know? Why all four of them got into boxing? No one wanted to do football?
Well, Gary Sr. was a boxer. He had an injury that stopped him from boxing. Okay. But hunting accident, as a matter of fact. But he just trained all the guys. First, he trained them all in his basement on Capitol Heights, and then they had a gym called Enigma Boxing, and they've just taken to it. They've all done extremely well. Gary only has one loss in his career, and that was to one of the best boxers in the world, in Vasily Lomachenko. Antonio Russell's, I think, 14-0, 11 KOs, and Antoine Russell's perfect. He's 8-0, 8 KOs. So these guys just really do it. And a lot of people, I heard years ago that Antoine may be the best of the bunch going forward.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Antoine, is he the youngest?
He's the youngest.
He's the youngest.
Okay. This kid has brain. We talk about kids outside the gym. This kid was the valedictorian of his class at Croom Academy his senior year. So, these guys, they do an outstanding job.
And athleticism.
No question about it. And
that's
as you talk about Jared Hurd being well-mannered, the Russell brothers are all well-mannered. They're great people to be around.
I was about to say, though, all four of them, there was some fighting going on in that house.
Here's the thing with the Hurd.
Can you imagine that?
His thing with the Hurd family as well as the Russell family, and I know the folks at Diamonds and Rough want to do the same thing. You do have to have a team and a support system behind you.
Okay. And
what the Hurd family gives Jared, what the Russell family gives the Russell brothers, is that support system. Same with Diamonds in the Rough. It's so important because we see situations where boxers just go crazy. They get on social media and start yapping and yelling and screaming and cursing, and and they get into trouble. We've seen that Javante Davis. We've seen that with Adrian Broner. We see that sometimes even with Floyd Mayweather because they didn't have that strong family support. They may have some support from their coaches.
Right.
And a lot of their coaches do great jobs.
Right.
But their family support was not there. The Russells and the Hurds have great family support.
Wow. So what do you do when there is no real family support though, and maybe this is the outlet for the kid?
Well, we got to show them kids and let them understand we love them, we care for them. That's the first thing. And before they even thinking about getting in the ring, we give them the exercise, but it's a mindset. We got to get the mindset. We start on the mind first.
You start on the mind first. Ooh, that's a good one.
You have to. You have
Start on the mind before even dealing with the skill. Because an untrained mind with skill,
you ain't coachable.
You're not coachable.
You think you know everything.
Right.
You got to be coachable.
You got to be coachable.
Name of this,
okay.
see, this is not checkers, this is chess. So when you get in with another opponent, you got to have a level head. You can't think you the best. You want to think good of yourself, that you work hard.
Yes.
That you went through your training camp and did everything you supposed to, didn't shortchange yourself. Then that builds your confidence because you're training. Not saying that I'm a dog, I'm like that, and you ain't doing nothing. You just talking.
Right.
Because
we're talking about some kids may come in and think, well, all I need is some rage, or you know what I'm saying? Is that something? I mean,
can't be mad fighting. Can't be mad
can't
boxing.
be mad
Can't be
fighting.
mad boxing.
Nope. Very good.
You're gonna lose
Very
every
good.
time.
Very good.
Oh, you're gonna lose
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah, you can't. It's not this art. Boxing is an art. It's way past any fighting game. Martial arts, kung fu, boxing is the one can stand tall against any combat. Boxing is number one.
Wow.
That's why Bruce Lee started Chinese boxing. He was kung fu, but he went to Chinese boxing because he understood the boxing is totally different. It's a technique. It's an art.
Right. So what do you look for? Like, say you have 10 kids who come into your shop, and they all have they all are interested in boxing, learning how to box. What do you initially look for in a kid?
Their will. Because their will gonna tell everything.
Their will. Their will to win?
Not even to win.
Okay.
Will to work.
To will to work.
To become a winner.
Their will to work. That's what you look for. Oh, that's huge. That is so, a lot of people don't understand that.
And see, what happens, what I've noticed sometimes is that some kids, they start so young, and while they get to a certain age, they get tired of it.
Yeah.
And those are the kids that don't have the will anymore because they're not frustrated because they win and they're successful doing it. They just get tired of the grind.
Right.
And it is a commitment that you have to make in order to be successful in however you want to do it.
Wow.
How far you want to take it.
Yeah. And you see that with the Russell family.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've seen that for years. The first time I met Gary Russell, he was throwing punches in front of a camera of mine, and he was like 5 years old. And then the second time I saw him, I don't even remember this. We had a show here in D.C. called the Platinum Gloves at the old Washington Convention Center. This is about 2001, 2002. And Gary Russell fought there. He was only about 10 years old. The kid he fought was a guy by the name of Saddam Ali, who both of them were on the same Olympic team a few years later. And both of them became world champions at one time.
Really?
Yeah, Saddam was a welterweight champion one time.
Wow.
They fought each other at the Platinum Gloves that night.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. Wow. Okay, so take us just real quick, give us like an idea. So the kid comes in, you look, he's got the will he's willing to work hard. What else?
Well,
how does your program work?
Well, we get him in. The first thing you're gonna do, you're not getting in the ring.
You're not getting in the ring.
You're not nowhere near the ring.
Right.
First, you're gonna do the exercise and see if you can commit to the everyday training. That's the key.
That's the key. One
thing about boxing, when it's come to training, it's training. It's like almost like you in the military, Marine Corps on a boot camp.
Boot camp, right?
Because you have to train that hard because it is a dangerous sport. So you got to train that hard to train your body for something that is not even made to do.
Right.
So you got to train your body, train your mind to be able to accept it, to be able to turn away from them punches. You know, be able to give a punch and get hit. You know, people don't like to get hit.
No.
So it's a mindset.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the training first.
Okay.
Going through the training every
So
day.
when do they get in the ring?
Well, it depends on a lot of things. One is when you see them going through all the exercise, you're going to see the development in them.
Okay.
You'll see where he already. He doing everything what we saying to do. When you get them on the bags, they hit the bags, the speed bag. He done master that. So it's a channel which you got to master to get into the ring.
Okay.
And then he said, okay, he done that. Now you ready to go into the ring. Now you got to master being in it with somebody else. So that's when the coaches get in there sparring with them. Seeing, you know, so they can take a punch, know how to take a punch, or turn away from a punch, and just know the mechanics of boxing.
Okay.
So that's a whole nother level when they get in the ring.
Okay.
But they got the training prepares them to get ready for the ring.
Right.
You know, so that's basically how it goes.
Right.
Then once they get in the ring, then they training, working, and see what he got. That's when the training shows that you wasn't over there in the corner when the coach wasn't looking. You stop doing crunches. You stop doing sit-ups. You stop hitting the bag. Because it's going to show when you get in that ring.
It's going to show.
It's going to show.
You know, I just have to recall my brother tried boxing when we were very young, and of course we had the Boys and Girls Club growing up. So he was training at the Boys and Girls Club, and he got his mouthpiece knocked out. So he still continued to box, but his mouth was like out to here. He was like, "That's all right. That's all right, Ma. I don't need to go. I don't need to go back." It took him forever. I mean, his mouth, and I'm screaming. I'm running around the boxing ring. Get your mouthpiece. My mother is at work. You know, I'm like trying to be his mom. I'm younger than him. I'm like, get up.
Goodness.
Get your mouthpiece. So what happens when a situation like that, you know?
But that's where the training come from.
Oh, okay.
That's the training.
Okay.
Because it can happen. You can get your mouthpiece knocked out, just have your mouth open. You know, not biting down on your mouthpiece. So the mouthpiece coming out, it's like when you get hit hard, you don't supposed to get phased by it. It don't supposed to rattle you. That's where the training come from.
That's where the training, okay. So the training of the mind too,
Right.
and the body.
Because, you know, really boxing is 90% mental.
Yes.
Only 10% physical.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well,
you know.
we see that, right?
Right.
Gary, talk about that. We see that every time we see Floyd. We're like, did he box?
Right.
Wait a minute. What did? But Floyd is a master of the mind.
A lot of the great ones,
right?
Ali, Leonard.
Well, look at, not to cut you off, look at Roy Jones.
Exactly.
Roy
Perfect
Jones
example.
was a freak of nature because
example.
he used to play basketball just to burn some energy off before he fight. Just before he fight.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's what he used
Really?
to do.
He
because
was doing
the
that?
mindset that's strong, and then when you putting everything in it. See, people want to be a Roy Jones and a Mayweather, but they don't realize the work he put in.
Right.
His work ethic is phenomenal.
Oof. Roy Jones. He
Yes.
did. I mean, you know, we need to really see those kind of figures because we don't really see what their journey is like. And I'm interested because I know, you know, Roy Jones Jr., I mean, he really was tough. He was tough. By the time he was in the ring, you know he was bona fide, certified, where he needed to be physically, from a physical standpoint.
Right.
But I didn't know about the mind, obviously, but you have to make quick decisions when you see boxers. You don't know what kind of training went into Roy Jones Jr.
Right. And he always he
seemed mentally
his
strong.
thing is fighting was his thing. He had dogs, he had roosters. So when you like that, you looking at every aspect. That's why he threw the punches the way he threw. Watching the roosters, he threw awkward punches.
He did. Oh,
Yeah.
he threw awkward punches.
Yeah, punches
Okay.
where the normal you won't throw from.
Wow, really?
Different angles, the whole 9
Yeah.
yards.
Oh, wow. See, that's the part that I don't know about that. Wow.
Yeah. So, but that comes from the studying with your craft. I don't care what it is. You know, if you're a lawyer, you're gonna read, you're gonna study your craft to be able to articulate
Yeah.
and talk to the judge to get that person wherever they're trying to get.
Right.
So
right.
it's studying your craft.
Have you seen that though a lot, Gary? Like boxers coming with just a different, I mean, because you've watched so many boxing matches. So are there ones that come with a different angle, a different kind of technique that you're...
Well, a lot of them rely on speed.
Okay.
One of the greatest we ever had in this area, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, was one of the fastest boxers that I ever saw. And went on to 3 world championships in the Hall of Fame. And he had a great mindset along those lines, too.
Right.
So much that he is one of the few boxers in the Hall of Fame right now. And he's partly in the Hall of Fame because of the boxers who wouldn't fight him,
Right.
as opposed
Who wouldn't fight him,
right?
right, okay.
Who wouldn't fight him? He late Johnny Tapia and Danny Romero, who were great flyweights out of New Mexico, they would never fight. Every time Mark would try to go for another title, he'd try to go up against Tapia. Tapia would move up to another weight class, and so he's in there again for boxers that wouldn't fight him as much as for boxers who would fight him. And he was the last boxer out of this area to be listed as one of the top 10 pound in the world.
Wow. So do you try to develop that with some of your boxers at Diamonds in the Rough? Do you stress to have your own style, your own technique, or are you more of a get the fundamentals down and be sound and solid?
Right. Basically, you get your fundamental down.
Okay.
Because you're going to come into your own character. Every fighter has their own signature, whatever.
Okay.
But basically you got to have the root, the foundation, and work off of that.
Okay.
Yeah, because every person, we all talk the same language, but we're different. Same way with boxing. Same way, it's no different.
It's no different. Wow. So Gary, just because time is of the essence, so I want to get to whatever. We have the boxing match on the 18th. Then we'll get to you, Coach, about some of the stuff you're doing, some of your events. But talk about what should we be looking out for. I know the one coming up on the 18th.
Right.
Where's that one out?
That's going to be the Entertainment Sports Arena.
That's
where the Go-Go and the Mystics play their basketball games.
Right. Okay.
Now we also have a card,
which is nice.
It's a beautiful place.
That's a nice facility. The world needs to come out. You guys need to really support that facility because it's right there. It's right by St. Elizabeth's. It's right in the community. It's really easy parking, metro access. I mean, the whole. Go ahead.
Then on Saturday, May 25th, we go.
I'm not being rude, by the way. I'm just trying to find my grandfather's picture. But go ahead.
Then on Saturday, May 25th, we are going to be at the MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. That is a card that's going to be interesting because it's not necessarily a lot of belt. In fact, there's only one beltweight boxer on that card that I know of. He's a good one by the name of Lorenzo Truck Simpson out of Baltimore. But the card is going to feature a young man by the name of Devin the Dream Haney. He's out of Las Vegas. He's undefeated. He's doing his own promotion as well. He's part of that promotion for the Matchroom Boxing card at MGM National Harbor. He'll be on that card. Originally, the main event was supposed to be a guy by the name of Alexander Usyk, who's one of the best cruiserweights in the world. He was supposed to make his heavyweight debut on that card, but he hurt his bicep. So Devin Dream Haney is on the main event. There's a female boxer on that card. I think it's Layla McCarter, I believe, is on that card. And again, that's going to be for the pure boxing fan. Not necessarily for the local boxing fan, but the pure boxing fan should enjoy that because Devin Haney is one of the bright lights in the boxing world.
Okay, and that one is at MGM.
MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. And then on Saturday, June 1st, we'll be at the Waldorf Cultural Center in Waldorf, Maryland. That's for the Citation card. That card was originally scheduled for early part of May, but it got postponed. It's moving to June 1st. Yours truly will be the ring announcer for that card.
Ring announcer, yes! All right! Oh my God, yes!
But, that's be interesting to see what happens there. They're still trying to work that card together. That's going to be Saturday, June 1st at the Waldorf Cultural Center in Waldorf, Maryland.
Okay, so we got some big stuff going on. This weekend, Saturday, Sports and Entertainment and Sports Arena this Saturday.
Right, that's Alontes Frontier Brown.
And then MGM's coming up.
That's Saturday, May 25th. Devin Haney headlines that card.
Okay.
And on June 1st at the Waldorf Cultural Center.
Wonderful. And then talk about what's going on with you coming up. I know we talked about it in the beginning, but just mention it real quick.
Well, June the 1st, we're having a benefit cabaret. Come on out, support the kids. If you come out, I guarantee you're going to have some fun, and then you're going to feel good because your money going somewhere.
Yes.
It's not just going to, right, it help these kids not going to waste. You pay $20, you helping the child.
Yes.
Simple as
Yes.
that. And then we got something coming up in June. The date is to be determined, and also the 24th or the 25th of August, our second annual Fight Against the City.
Fight Against the City.
Yeah,
That's
DC.
where your DC goes against another
City.
state.
Yep.
Another city.
City or state, no matter.
Oh, okay. Okay. And that one's coming up
That's in August the 24th.
August the 24th. You're going to come back for that
Right.
particular event. And then who should we be looking out for in your staple of boxers now?
Whoa. Well, we have 5 kids going to Delaware at the 14th. We have Demetrius. We have Silk with Deontay. We have Samson. He go to Bowie State.
Okay.
All right. We have a new kid coming out, Nick.
Okay.
This is going to be his first fight with us. And then I love this kid, Shaquille Daly.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
he's going to be a great, phenomenal fighter coming up because he got the mindset and he got everything going for him.
And another kid who has a good family background, his father, Special K. Kelvin Daly, was a boxer I used to cover
right.
in the 90s. And great thing about that is, real quickly, Shaquille Daly was named the outstanding boxer of the Washington Golden Glove.
That's right.
The same award his father won 34 years
That's
ago.
right.
Whoa!
The same
All right.
one.
Wow,
Same
that's
one. Same
awesome. Awesome. Well, look out for some of these boxers at boxing at Diamond in the Rough Boxing Gym right there in District Heights in Maryland. And then also look out for boxing around the Beltway, the website, right?
BoxingAlongTheBeltway.blogspot.com. And you can always
Right.
catch me on Twitter at Digital25.
Right, Gary Williams is the guru of boxing around the city. So, hey, and don't forget, next week I'll be back. We'll be talking a little more playoffs, Washington Valor, Washington Mystics, all of that stuff we'll be dealing with next Tuesday. See me every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Also, I was just going to show you guys my grandfather, the pro boxer, heavyweight champion of New England. I'm going to show you 20 years before Muhammad Ali, 60 plus fights. He was a beast. I'll see you guys next time. We the shit coming up later. Bye.